I always wondered why I had no baby photos, until I found the box buried under the floorboards. It was a slow Sunday afternoon when I noticed the gap beneath the floorboards in the attic. The kind of old groaning space where forgotten things go to rot. I was helping my sister Rachel clear out our childhood home after our parents passed, and I'd stepped right through a soft board. What caught my eye wasn't the hole, but the edge of something sticking out from under it. A box, metal, cold, about the size of a shoebox, tied with a brittle ribbon that disintegrated when I touched it. Inside were photographs, all black and white, and every single one was of me. Same face, same dark eyes, same mole under the left ear. Just older prints, dated years, even decades before I was born. The first was labeled IU 1924. The second, IU 1957. The third, IU 1975. I dropped the box. What the hell? I muttered. Rachel looked over, raised an eyebrow. What? I showed her. She went pale. The photos weren't similar to me. They were identical. Unmistakably, impossibly, but aged, cracked, labeled with dates that made no sense. Whose are you? I asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she reached for something else in the box. A notebook, leather-bound, smelling of mildew and something sharp, like burnt sugar. Inside were pages and pages of handwritten notes, diagrams, folklore, and a family tree. Ours. Every name was familiar, until I got to the last two. Rachel, born 1986. IU, returned in 94. I was born in 94. Rachel was 8 when I came into the picture, but she'd never mentioned me being adopted. There were no records, no baby photos, just me, suddenly in the family. And now apparently I'd returned. The photo from 1924 didn't just look like me. It was me. Same eyes, same smirk, same faint scar on the brow from where I'd fallen off a tricycle when I was 5. Only the photo was sepia-toned and worn, taken nearly a century ago. The back was labeled in spidery handwriting. IU before the taking. Rachel turned the page. More entries, notes, drawings, diagrams of bones and shadows. Stories about a being called IU, the ever-child. A creature of mimicry, neither living nor dead. Appears in times of grief, attaches to a grieving family, and takes the place of what was lost. My heart pounded. So what? You're saying I'm a ghost? Rachel's eyes stayed locked on the page. Not a ghost, she murmured. A vessel. Then she said something I'll never forget. You were born after I had a brother. They'd named him Thomas. He was born still. Never took a breath. Mum had gone silent for weeks. Dad too. Rachel, only 6 at the time, remembered them lighting candles every night, saying his name like a prayer. Then, 2 months later, I came along. Alive, breathing, perfect. Only there was no birth certificate, no hospital law record, no visitors, no flowers, no midwife. Just me, in the crib that had been meant for Thomas. I always thought they adopted you in secret, Rachel said. But now we both knew the truth. They didn't adopt me. They didn't find me. They summoned me. The house groaned as we sat there. The temperature dropped. The lights flickered, but didn't go out. Is it still inside me? I asked. Rachel hesitated, then nodded. But there's a ritual in here, a banishment. Nan called it returning the vessel. I turned the page. The steps were brutal. Return to the place of taking. Unearth the anchor, the object tied to the spirit's arrival. Speak the name of the lost. Burn the vessel. Walk away. Do not look back. Burn the vessel? I asked, voice cracking. Rachel didn't look at me. That night, I returned to the attic alone. The box still sat under the board. The photos inside it now curled and yellowed at the edges. But something had changed. They were warm to the touch, like skin. I brought it downstairs, set it in the fireplace. The flames licked eagerly at the metal. Smoke curled black and fast, and with it a sound. Not a scream, not quite. More like dozens of whispers exhaling at once. Then the house shook. Paint peeled off the walls. The photos in the hallway burst into flame, one by one, until only a single one remained. Not of Rachel, not of me, but of a small baby, wrapped in a white blanket, eyes closed. Thomas. I turned back to Rachel, who stood silently by the door. I think it's working, I said. Then I felt it, a crack inside me, something pulling loose, like stitches coming undone. My skin went cold. My breath stilled, and then I remembered everything. The forest, the voice, the cold ground where my spirit had waited for someone to call it, and the mother who whispered into the dark, "Come back to me." She didn't care what came back, only that something did. I dropped to my knees, pain seared through my limbs. Not burning, unraveling, like I was being peeled from the inside out. Rachel grabbed the book, flipped to the last page. Her voice shook as she read the final words. "Speak the name of the lost. Let them go. Burn the name into ash." She did. Thomas. The fire roared, and I screamed. But the scream wasn't mine. It came from the walls, the floorboards, the attic, the mirror. Every part of the house exhaled at once. And then silence. When I woke up, I was on the floor. My skin was slick with sweat. My mouth tasted like soot. But I was breathing. Whole. Rachel sat beside me. "You're okay," she said. "Oh, she said, and I was. For the first time, I felt like me. Not borrowed, not haunted, not tethered to something ancient and hollow. We sold the house that winter, burned the last few belongings. The box was gone. The mark on my arm faded. And Rachel, she never told anyone. Some truths are too heavy for the world. But now, when people ask about my baby photos, I tell them the truth. There were photos, but they weren't of me.